In this video, I'm going to run through the various laws of indices. Number one is the multiplication law, which states that if given x to the power of a times x to the power of b, that gives us x to the power of a plus b. Now, so this means that if we are given 2 to the power of 2 times 2 to the power of 4, for example, this gives us 2 to the power of 2 plus 4. Simply add up the exponents. Now, the reason we are adding up the exponents is because the bases are the same, 2 here and 2 here. Now, this gives us 2 to the power of 6. Now, the second law of indices is the division law. Now, similar to the multiplication law, when you are given x something like this, x to the power of a divided by x to the power of b, as long as the bases are the same, x, simply subtract the exponent. This gives us x to the power of a minus b. Now, this is also the case if you are given x raised to the power a over x raised to the power b. It applies the same way. Now, for example, if you are given 2 raised to the power 4 over 2 raised to the power 2, this gives us 2 to the power of 4 minus 2, and that gives you 2 raised to the power 4. Now, next is the multiplication of exponents law. For example, if you are given something like this, x to the power of a, all brackets b raised to the power b, this becomes x to the power of a times b. For example, if you have to simplify 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 2 again, that gives you 2 to the power of 3 times 2, and that gives you 2 to the power of 6. Now, the next law of indices is the zero index law. And the zero index law states that any number to the power of 0 is 1, 10 to the power of 0 is 1, 100 or 150 to the power of 0 is 1. Any number to the power of 0 is 1. The next law is the negative index law. The negative index law says that if a number or a variable is raised to a negative index, your answer is the reciprocal of that number. So in this case, the answer gives us 1 over x. Now, so this is also the case if, for example, what we are given is a fraction. For example, y over x to the power of minus 1. Now, what you're going to simply do is to take the reciprocal of this fraction, and that gives us x over y. X over y. Now, if what you have is something like this, y over x, but this time around to the power of minus 2, and this gives us x, just swap, just take the reciprocal of the fraction x over y, and that takes care of the minus, and what you just have as the power is 2. So that's the negative index law. Now let's look at the fractional index law. Now, whenever you are given a problem in indices with a fractional power, for example, if what you are given is x to the power of 1 over 2, this becomes square root of x. Now, if you are given x to the power of 1 over 3, this becomes the cube root of x. So also, if the number here is not 1, for example, if what you are given is x to the power of 2 over 3, now this gives us, if you split the power here, this gives us x to the power of 1 over 3 times 2. If you split 2 over 3, it gives you 1 over 3 times 2. So applying what we know so far, this gives us cube root of x to the power of 2. So that's so in as a general rule, the fractional index law states that x to the power of a over b equals x to the power of a x to the power of a, then we take the cube root of b. So I'll repeat that. As a general rule, x to the power of a over b, this a over b, gives us the b as the root of x raised to the power a. Now those are the laws of indices. Now lastly, if you are given an indicial equation, take note that if, for example, x to the power of a equals x to the power of b, then you can simply equate the powers. A equals b. As long as the numbers are the same on both sides of the equation, you can simply equate the index on both sides.